Review for November. Remember we talked about March and April, how fast they'd gotten here? Well, this one and one more and we wrap up 2025. All right, before we start, we have a volunteer who was going to do the prayer for us today. Sam, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members, and everyone here, if you'd please bow your heads and pray with me. Lord, it is the month of November, and we ask you today to give us hearts that are truly thankful. Thankful for our country, conceived in liberty, not tyranny. Thankful for our leaders, chosen by the people they serve. And thankful for every public servant, law enforcement officers, medical professionals, educators, administrative staff, janitors, and all who faithfully serve our communities each and every day. Help those of us here today to work together in good faith to serve the people of our great state. No matter our branch of government or political party, may we be united in our shared commitment to the trust you have placed in us. Your word reminds us that all those in authority are established by you. May we take our responsibilities seriously, serving with integrity and reverence towards you. Above all, Lord, I'm thankful for you who chose me to be yours. And I pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. Madam Clerk, would you please call a roll?
Senator Albritton, Senator Beasley, Senator Butler, Senator Elliott, here. Representative England, here. Representative Garrett, Senator Orr, Representative Pringle, here. Representative Reynolds, Senator Roberts,
here, ma'am,
and Representative Witt.
We have a quorum. Before we start, we've got a little housekeeping to do. Number one is the rules, the new guidelines. Jason, you want to address that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, before you, we circulated back in September some amendments to the committee policies that are before you. On Policy 2, specifically removing the immigration status provision. That form was redundant, and so that has been removed, as well as in accordance with the FPPM revisions, where you're either going to have a certificate of compliance or an E-Verify. It used to read and so that coincides with the Fiscal Policies and Procedures Manual. We removed policy number 16 related to the 45-day period when it runs. That was shored up in recent legislation last year, and then in accordance with the committee's wishes, requesting that any legal services contract that exceeds 195, which is the governor's cap, that a justification be submitted to be included in the agenda for that contract as to why it's over the rate. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. With that, anyone have questions about those changes? With that, I'd entertain a motion that we adopt.
So moved.
Second? Second. Thank you, Senator Butler and Senator Elliott. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right. Secondly, we have circulated our list. It'll be very similar to this year. July, once again with 4th of July. We will meet on July the 9th, and we'll publish this. Circulate with the committee to make sure we don't have any conflicts. Other than that, it's standard. When we're in session, it'll be 8:30. When not, 1:30. So that's where we are. You got everyone on the committee get a copy of this, and just make sure we're good to go on that. But we try to publish that, so we'll have it ready for the December meeting. Anything else for the good of the order before we start? Madam Clerk? Okay, with that, we'll kick off ABC, page 1. This month we had 58 submissions, 3 of which were rejected. One contract was pulled by the agency and thus is not on the agenda. So we have 54 contracts today. 4 of them were initially rejected and required work from our staff, and we'll discuss that when we get to it. There was one offender that doesn't follow a lot of contracts, but we'll talk about that at the appropriate time. Our guys spend a lot of time getting prepared for this, and I'm just asking you to make sure what's submitted is in line with the committee policies. All right. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is David Peacock. I'm Chief General Counsel, Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. We've got one contract that's up for review with y'all. A little simplified history with it is we have a contract in place from 2025 that was awarded after the RFP process for a warehouse management system for the new warehouse that's being built. We have another existing contract in place for many of the other services, for retail services and also some warehouse management components with that from 2017 that was also awarded by an RFP. The contract that's before y'all would be a bridge between those two, the integration that has to happen between the current project or the current 2017 contract with Accenture and the contract with Manhattan. This would be for Accenture to integrate those systems and make sure that everything works together, because the whole system has to work together. It'll fail.
Thus, I think you answered why this particular contract was sole source.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, any questions on this?
No, Mr. Chairman, just comment. I appreciate the administrator calling me yesterday afternoon and kind of briefing me on what this was, and that little attention helps just a little bit to answer some questions before you get up here.
I was at a regulatory board conference, and you and Mr. England and Mr. Roberts were there, and I may have sat in the back, but I did take notes. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Peacock, thank you.
thank you.
I'm sorry.
I just want to echo the same thing. I appreciate you reaching out and letting me know. So
Yes, sir.
take care of some of those questions. That's the best way to do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. ADECA, bottom page 1.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Chairman Roberts and members of the committee. Meg Fiedler, General Counsel for ADECA. We have 2 amendments and 1 new contract before the committee today. Both of the amendments before the committee relate to the disaster recovery consultant, Horn LLP. They've undergone restructuring and have a name change to BDO.
We had a vendor were they acquired by someone?
They've merged. It was a restructuring, the merger of multiple accounting firms, from what I understand.
Okay.
But this is the government services portion that's taken over Horn LLP. So these amendments just implement that name change. And then one of the amendments, the Hurricanes Amendment, which for Sally and Zeta is just an extension of time. And that's just to close out the housing proportion, because there's a plus up of money, and will be Dallas County is an overlap county from Sally and Zeta. And then the tornadoes were in Autauga and Dallas County. So we have to have a closeout period with that first contract, the Hurricanes contract. So I refer to them as the Hurricanes and the Tornadoes contracts.
We're doing an extension, no
Yes, sir.
cost time extension, all federal funds.
That's right.
So the total contract will now be $291,698,000.
That's right. And that includes that housing portion of that. So that's for housing construction, the way that their contract is structured.
So
That's in the housing program.
help
Help you understand?
break this down a little more, please. Go.
Okay, the way that their contract is structured is the money goes into the program. It's not, so they're paid, but we put the money in the housing program, and they manage the housing program for us, for ADECA. So when we set up the housing program for hurricanes, we funded their entire contract for them to run the housing program, because they had set up a program in Mississippi, and we modeled the housing program here in Alabama much the same. So this money is actually going to construction of houses.
So it is for roof shingles, 2x4s?
Yes, sir. It is for reconstructions.
All construction
It is
material.
Yes, it's for renovations. It's for construction, and then a portion of it is their services, their professional services. But the bulk of it is for the construction of houses and renovations that were damaged because of Sally and Zeta. So, and the extension is for us to close out the housing portion of that contract. And there's some overlap because of the tornadoes that hit Dallas and Autauga County.
Okay. Mr. Paul, do we have a breakdown of service fees versus any of this in the contract?
I'd have to go back and look at it, but
Okay.
I can get with Meg and get some figures on that for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a
I'll be happy to get that
questions.
for
Yeah,
you.
we're
Yes,
just
sir.
Trying to understand.
Yes, sir. That's
All
just
right.
the way that their contract is structured. We put it all into the program.
Understanding
But
it's
I'll be
a
happy
hurry
to-
up, go type of situation, understand.
Yes, sir, and I'll be happy to get that information to Jason, and we can talk through that.
All right, any other questions?
Who exactly gets their house built?
They apply to the program and like through an application process, and we have program guidelines that are established that are on our website. So they actually apply to our program and have to meet criteria. And there's like a duplication of services analysis as to whether or not they've gotten funds from FEMA or whether they've gotten funds from other federal entities. They go through this full application process before their house is either renovated or rebuilt.
So, if you don't have any insurance and your house is hit by a storm, the government comes in and rebuilds your house for you.
They can, yes, sir. That's what this is. That's this housing program through HUD. Yes, sir.
Kind of discourages people from having insurance.
We have got an insurance requirement in our new housing program for the tornadoes for that reason. We have written in a portion that they have to have insurance after the house is rebuilt by this program for a certain number of years. That's a requirement that we put in. That's not required by HUD, but that we as a DECA, because it's funds, federal funds, and even state funds are going in that we have required for our program moving forward, for our housing program moving forward.
How many years do they have to have insurance?
I think it's in 3 to 5. I'll have to look and get back to you. I'm not sure exactly where we settled because we're in the process of drafting the program guidelines for the tornado program because that's a housing program too in Dallas and Autauga County. So I can get that information back to you.
So these people can have a house with no insurance. It's damaged by a storm. The taxpayers come in and rebuild their houses for them. They only have to carry insurance for 3 years, and they can go back with no insurance. What happens if it's destroyed again? The government's going to pay to fix it again?
I think there's a provision in the program guidelines that they will not get a new house after that. It's a one bite at the apple.
Well, I think I might cancel my homeowner's insurance. That's a pretty good deal.
And it's a HUD program, yes, sir. It's
Typical government, we reward irresponsibility.
Yes, sir.
You're not responsible enough to have insurance, we're going to come rebuild your house for you. And we got $291 million of taxpayers' money to do it with. It's amazing.
So is this wind, flood, either?
This is because of the disasters, when it's declared a natural disaster. So like the hurricanes that hit those counties, they were a government federally declared disaster. So that's the first element that has to be satisfied. Once that's satisfied, then they have to apply through the program. And we do a duplication assessment to make sure they haven't received other types of federal funding before they can even apply for these funds.
Okay.
And that's for the hurricanes. And then, like I said, the new program will be the tornadoes, which is Dallas and Autauga County.
Okay. Mr. Paul?
So, Mr. Chairman, on the contract itself, the totals out of the full 290 and change million, it looks like about 42 million is going towards program implementation, and then the direct construction cost is going to be around 232 million in change.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Did you hear that, Representative Pringle? 42 million fee, 232 million construction cost is a rough average. All right, any other questions? Thank you. Top of page 2. Same.
Yes, sir. This is a new contract with CTC Technology and Energy. It's for our Digital Expansion Division consultant. They provide technical expertise for broadband, the broadband program, development, implementation, data collection, mapping, management, administration, and all other professional support. They were procured by RFP. It was distributed to 662 providers, and we received 8 responses.
So this is for management of
Grant management of broadband.
Okay.
All the different programs, whether it's ARPA funds, whether it's the BEAD money,
Yes.
all of those different federal programs.
Any questions on this? Bottom page 2, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Commerce. No, I mean, I'm just,
Good afternoon. Hunter Talley with the Department of Commerce.
I'm sorry, say your name again, please.
Hunter Talley.
Hunter, okay.
We just have an amendment to assign our contract that we brought before y'all a few months ago for the Japan office. We're assigning it to a subsidiary of the company that was the original contractor.
Was there a change in ownership or?
No, we've just through this process of implementation of the services, we've realized that the Japan office will be more extensively and almost solely servicing commerce. And so it made more sense for us to just allocate the responsibilities more clearly.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Conservation, bottom page 3.
Hello, my name is Nyla Cheney, representing the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Let's see. We have MGT Impact Solutions. It's an amendment that will add funds, extend the contract till 2027. It allows MGT to continue to calculate the indirect cost rate of grant money received by conservation.
You anticipate this being RFP'd again, or is this the end of this?
This one we will re-procure in 2027.
Any questions?
I do, and I love this description, and I'm sure I'm going to get a phone call for asking about this later. But it says continued preparation and negotiation of the department's indirect cost rate allocation proposals and ancillary analysis for multiple fiscal years. What in the world does that mean?
Well, it's accounting related, I can tell you that.
Okay.
What MGT does is they will negotiate the indirect cost rate with the federal government. And the indirect cost rate is a ratio used to determine the dollar amount conservation can keep out of the grant money to administer the grants.
That was explained as you would to a golden retriever, and I understood it. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
You might do more for a pit bull next time you're describing something to him.
I will keep that in mind.
All right, no, we're good on bottom of 3.
Okay.
Top of 4.
Okay. This is EOS Utility Services. This one we will not renew. We are asking to add some funds and extend it till 2027. It allows EOS to complete some ARPA projects on our state parks.
Any questions on that? Y'all are good on ARPA?
Yes.
Good. We're making sure as a state, I know we've done well on our audit so far, and we want to stay there, and great. All right, thank you very much. Corrections.
Good afternoon. I'm Mandy Spears with the Alabama Department of Corrections. Today we have one contract. It is the final renewal of our RFP for geo reentry, which is residential, therapeutic, and educational intensive programming. And this is our facility. This is run out of Columbiana.
You're one of the 4?
No, year 5 of the 5.
I know, you're one of the 4 that really botched up the submittal here. I know it wasn't you, but I'm trying to understand. We don't normally have problems here, but dollar amounts didn't match cover sheet in the contract. I mean,
It was off by 70 cents.
understand. It just creates a back and forth with our folks.
Right.
We're trying to avoid that. Close but no cigar on that. But, all right, any other questions on this? Initially solicited at 421, awarded in 421. When will it be RFP'd?
This year. This is
This
the
year?
this is the last of the 5 years.
Well, you will continue to do this, though.
I don't have an answer to that. We intend to issue an RFP.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you. Education, top of page 5.
Good afternoon, Tina Hammonds for the State Department of Education. We have 3 contracts today. Our first one is with Frank Buck Consulting. This is 100% federal funds. It was RFP'd, and these are IDEA funds. The vendor will serve as an external evaluator under the Indicator 7 preschool outcomes data
Any
federal
questions?
reporting requirement.
Bottom of 5.
AIR, this is American Institute for Research. This is also 100% federal funds, was RFP'd, and this has to do with reading intervention specifically for our grades 4 through 8. So they will provide technical assistance to help us create an intensive reading intervention program for those grades.
I know we've improved greatly. Good
Yes, sir.
job on that. My question is, I know it's 100% federal funds.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way or any reason to bring something like this in-house? It's a lot of money.
I think we have many different programs that are being used toward these different years and ages of the kids with the different issues that we have. So right now, under the Literacy Act, we're doing the interventions and the things up to 3rd grade, and then we have the whole back, and then of course the kids that pass on. I know that we did get some state funding and federal funding this year to try to put toward those 4 through 8s. We want to make sure that those kids don't continue to be intermediate as they move forward, but that's also part of our COVID issue. So we're going to try to put as much intensive state and federal funding toward those kids over the next few years to see if we can't make sure to give them the best future they can have, and then reevaluate what our student population looks like when we get past that COVID bump.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, ma'am. Top of page 6.
Yes, sir. This is also from our Alabama Reading Initiative group. This is with Lexia Learning Systems. This is for the LETTERS training program. It is a sole source. It's 100% state funds, and this has its genesis under the Alabama Literacy Act. The Alabama Literacy Act specifically puts forward that we are supposed to have a continuum of learning. In the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, there was an RFI that helped to identify that the specific type of training that was laid out in the Literacy Act is only really fulfilled through the LETTERS program. We're using the LETTERS program now. We have had phase 1 and this is going to be phase 2. And so all of the folks that have already had phase 1, this allows them to complete phase 2. And then we are going to try to create an RFP for the phase 3 of the continuum to see if anyone in the market wants to develop something comparable to LETTERS. But at this time, that is the industry gold standard and the one that we are using for the training for our teachers under the Literacy Act.
Is this a 9 or 12-month program?
It's multiple PDs. And so I'm not sure what it takes to complete it, but I can let you know. But the continuum will allow them to go through a phase 1, a phase 2, and then a phase 3 to be able to have the complete training. And I believe we started with teaching the teachers in college to be able to teach the students that are going to be teachers. Then we have to go into the field to teach the teachers that are already in the field. And then we'll be able to have a continuum for both sets to be able to have further learning. So.
Anyone have a question?
I do, Mr. Chairman. I guess more of a comment. Tina, I appreciate y'all headed in the direction of an RFP, right? And I understand it's still new, right? We got to do an RFI, RFQ, whatever to get started and get rolling.
Right.
But this is one of those things that we need to get to an RFP on.
Yes, sir.
One other thing I will say, and I hope that it is the result of this, and that is that we don't have to spend additional state taxpayer dollars to train teachers in state colleges and universities how to do what they are there to do to get a degree in, right? They need to understand that this is the new standard.
We're working on that, Numeracy Act and Literacy Act, to try to make sure that the different forms of higher education and the different ed prep programs and the 2- and 4-year college opportunities are all preparing teachers that are going to come back for licenses in our state to be ready to teach using the tenets of the Numeracy Act and the Literacy Act. So some of this actually was geared toward teaching the teachers, teaching the professors. And my understanding also from talking to ARI and Bonnie Short, who's our great leader for that work, is that it's so specific in the Literacy Act what is needed that letters is the one that fulfills that. So that's where we've been. There was an RFI that identified that. We do need to be able to complete the training, phase 1, phase 2. And so with the continuum we're required to build, we are going to RFP to see if anyone else wants to get in on that action as we move forward. So.
Sounds good to me.
Assuming 9 months, it's $2.321 million per month to implement this. And I don't know if you have any data, how many people are impacted.
I guarantee you we have data. I do not have it here, but I can get with Bonnie Short and I can get you how many people have completed it, what it's been costing us, how long they're in, whatever you'd like to know about it. I know she does do us an annual and a semi-annual report for Literacy Act implementation. We have copies of those. I just don't have the statistics in front of me right now for those answers.
Do you think there's a direct correlation in these dollars being spent and some of the increase in testing scores?
Due to our PARCA studies, we have some preliminary PARCA studies, which is the Public Affairs Research Council of Alabama. Their data does indicate that second and third grade students instructed by a letters-trained teacher for 2 or more years do show higher reading scores on our state reading assessments across the board. So yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Education Television Commission. Bueller? Do we say that? What do we do? Okay. Finance.
Good afternoon. Carrie Shaw with the Department of Finance, Division of Risk Management. This is a 2-year renewal of our Gen X Services contract, which provides professional vocational case management consultation services to injured employees who are receiving benefits through the State Employee Injury Compensation Trust Fund, which is administered by the Division of Risk Management.
Any questions? I believe you have 2 other contracts in legal?
I do not.
Okay.
General Counsel Taylor Nichols does.
Do you want to come up and do those? I thought you had a deadline, sir.
Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Y'all bear with us. We're going to jump up legal services.
Sorry if I caused any confusion there.
Page 29.
We have actually 4 different contracts. The first one being the Alabama Corrections Institution Financing Authority on page 22. These are all for bond financing authorities, so they have different names. That was what I was trying to bunch together. Page 22. All right. Like I said, we have 4 contracts. These were all procured by RFP. They are legal services, so we weren't required to do that, but decided to put them out to market anyway. They're provided to 44 attorneys at 25 different firms, and those firms had requested to be contacted for bond and disclosure counsel. So this first one, Corrections Institution Financing Authority, is bond counsel contract in preparation of possible issuance of bonds to finance construction on a corrections facility in Escambia County.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a question. Taylor, does this deal with the additional bonding authority that the legislature granted in the last session, or?
It was anticipated before that, the bonding authority that we needed, but yes, sir, it did. I know that y'all did increase our bonding capacity even further, so.
Is this?
It is the same entity.
It's the same entity, yes, but are you getting into that amount of money that was authorized by the legislature in the last session? I don't believe
we will be.
That's what I was looking for.
Any other questions? All right.
All right, next one will be the Bond Commission, which is on page 26. That is a contract for ongoing legal analysis and support for the Bond Commission. You might also know that as the Amendment 666 or 666 or 36, as well as any future debt issuances from that entity. We don't currently have plans to issue debt, but we want to remain flexible there is particular interest in potential new developments resulting from the Space Command move to Huntsville and other economic development opportunities. And I'll note that this commission includes members of the legislature, so certainly we will be working with y'all on that.
Any questions on that? All right.
The next one is the Building Renovation Finance Authority, also page 26. That is bond counsel contract in anticipation of issuing debt to finance construction of a parking deck for the Gordon Persons Building. Y'all authorized that this past year, Act 2025-298.
Any questions? Okay.
And then the last one on page 29, that's Finance Department, that one. That is a single contract to perform disclosure counsel services for those three transactions that I talked about, or those three entities that I just presented to y'all. And this establishes a separate disclosure counsel contract, and we aim to achieve some economies of scale and consistency in our disclosures to the market.
Okay, any questions from the committee, bottom of 29?
Just one further comment, if I can, Mr. Taylor. If your answer on that corrections thing changes, or if you clarify that at all, please let me know.
I'll let you know. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank y'all.
Okay, back to the bottom of page 7, forensic science.
Afternoon, Chairman Roberts, member of the committee. My name is Mark Bass for the Department of Forensic Sciences. ADFS has 3 contracts for your review today, all of which were awarded via RFP. The first is Forensic Pathology Services, which assists us in keeping our autopsies going and making sure that families receive their loved ones in a timely manner. We use those to assist when we may have medical examiner shortages or they may be out. And we try to make sure that any assistance that they provide us are not going to be cases that are going to be criminally oriented.
Is it fair to ask where are these transportation to and from Nevada, or are you?
No, this is just for the services. The medical examiners will come on site and they will perform the autopsies just as they would if we had our own staff that was in there. And that doesn't change. There's no transportation cost other than they do charge us when they transport themselves here, and that's part of that cost that's involved. But that's involved, and this is the maximum amount that we would have.
Okay. Any questions on that? Go ahead, sir.
Did you say
England?
This is you said this is for non-criminal issues?
We try to make sure that that's for non-criminal cases. The medical examiners that we have, our current medical examiner staff, sign out the autopsy reports. They supervise all the autopsies that we have, but we want to make sure that we try to keep as much as we can our medical examiners right there for testimony purposes, for criminal purposes, so that it's as clean as possible.
So how do you, outside of criminal matters, how do you get an autopsy from the state?
Okay. We have 4 entities per statute that allow us or permit us, authorize us to do a postmortem examination. That would be the governor, the attorney general, circuit judge, or the district attorney. For intents and purposes, 99.999 is the district attorney's office, and they then authorize us to be involved. Now, we don't tell the district attorney they can or can't authorize us to be involved. So if they authorize and send us a case, then we do a post on that particular case. And so we don't send them away. I'm not sure if that's what you were asking.
So I'm aware that the statute you're talking about, and generally speaking, whenever the Department of Forensic Sciences gets involved in providing autopsies, it's generally because of some sort of investigation. So I was just asking, outside of that criminal investigation, how do you get or it could just give me an example of a situation where the Department of Forensic Sciences is providing an autopsy for a situation that is not criminal in nature.
We do get autopsies where maybe there was a vehicle crash. Someone is sent to us and they want us to, because they may not know. So there's a question, and we try to, based on the circumstances that are there, we'll do maybe a preliminary drug screen. We'll try to do as much as we can to ensure that cases that would go to this particular situation are less likely to be a criminal case. We may have a case where someone has a you just don't know. Maybe it was could be an aneurysm or something, or maybe there was something that was really strange that went on, and they sent it to us to make sure there wasn't anything. We try to look at that and do those. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying that we only have non-criminal cases, because like you're saying, we do assume every case could be an investigation, but we try. We're not going to give them where we know it's a murder case where someone shot. We're not going to give them something that is blatantly and clearly a criminal case. We'll do those with our on-staff medical examiners.
And so I'll wrap it up. The reason I'm interested is I know that those resources are scarce. Forensic scientists not only offer services in autopsies, but also testing drugs, and so pretty overworked. So that also ultimately results in delays in criminal prosecution, waiting for testing to be done on several things. So in just trying to figure out what is the best way to use the limited resources that we have, considering that, forensic scientists and also the services that they provide are not only expensive, but it's also time consuming. So just wondering in the future, is there a better, and we can talk about this offline, because there are other entities in the state that do need autopsy services to help better determine how a death occurred, maybe in a prison or something like that. And those services aren't being provided because of some conflicts that have occurred between, Department of Corrections, UAB, and then the Department of Forensic Sciences usually doesn't get involved, as you said, unless there's some sort of criminal investigation.
That's correct.
So just trying to figure out a way that we could provide more services to get more autopsies on deaths outside that occur in the Department of Corrections that obviously don't sacrifice the quality of the services that you are providing for district attorneys in other areas. So that might be something I talk to you about later or offline, because I do want to figure out a way to, because they used to send most of the deaths that occurred in custody to UAB that don't do that anymore, which then leaves a huge void there. And so just want to try to figure out a way to.
We're always happy to have conversation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Our second and third contracts are two different dentists, forensic odontologists. They're for identification on skeletal remains when our ADFS medical examiner is unable to do it for whatever reason.
Any questions on either one of these? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Human Resources.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Bush with DHR Legal, and DHR has a contract with Better Sector LLC to assist DHR in providing training and employment services to SNAP recipients.
And the definition of a reset, Alabama Resources for Enrichment, Self-Sufficiency, and Employability Training.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well said.
Any questions on this?
I was just about to ask.
Yes, sir.
I apologize. Next time we'll spell that out for you.
Alabama Resources for Enrichment, Self-Sufficiency, and Employability Training. All right, anything else? Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you, sir.
Legislative Services.
Good afternoon, committee. Chairman Robert, Jimmy Intrican with Legislative Services Agency. We have 2 contracts for you guys today. They're IT professional services contracts. They're styled as new contracts, but they're actually renewals. They've been with us, these 2 individuals, for a while, providing our IT consulting on these engagements we've been in with Alice 2.0.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Medicaid.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Nick Hines, Assistant General Counsel with the Alabama Medicaid Agency. Medicaid has 1 contract before you today. It's a renewal of a previously approved contract with Public Consulting Group, LLC. Public Consulting Group will be performing an independent evaluation of the agency's 1115 serious mental illness demonstration waiver. That's, of course, related to short-term stays for acute care in psychiatric hospitals that qualify under specific criteria, and it's a waiver for services focused in Mobile and Baldwin counties.
Any questions? Page 11. Wait, sorry. That's mental health 11. Sorry about that.
Brian Penn, Mental Health. We have 4 contracts today. First one is Applichat Limited. It's a new contract. We did 900 direct solicitations, has 6 responses. The vendor will provide marketing and public relations services for the Alabama Council on Developmental Disability. And the purpose is to reduce stigma of developmental disability and increase inclusion of persons into everyday life. And the project is a requirement under the Health and Human Services Community Living Grant.
Brian?
Yes, sir.
You're one of 4. I don't know why this one got messed up. Y'all are regular submitters and problems with the cover sheet and everything else.
This one?
Just, I'd love for that not to happen again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Okay, page 12.
Next one is National Association. It's a new contract. The contractor will develop and implement the Joint Commission Oryx system. They gather core data from the 3 facilities in Tuscaloosa, submit reports to the Joint Commission, compare data of other similar facilities in other states, and this is a requirement by the Joint Commission.
And the goal, what's the goal of this?
It's to gather information that the Joint Commission wants us to submit about the 3 hospitals.
And what is Oryx?
It doesn't stand for anything. I thought it did too. I looked it up. It doesn't, it's not an acronym. It is the Joint Commission's system. They call it Oryx.
There you go. That totally caught me off guard on that one.
Took me about 20 minutes to find it anyway. So.
Senator Elliott had a program he was going to get passed this year, and he was thinking about Oryx, but didn't want to make sure it wasn't a copyright. Okay. Sole source, though, help me with that.
Yes, sir. I asked about this, and I was assured that this is the only vendor that can do this. So.
I've heard that before. I think we all have. Tina's never said that before, I'm glad. But any other comments, questions? Representative England.
You said this is going to be some sort of information that the Joint Commission is requesting about the facilities in Tuscaloosa?
Yes, sir.
And I'm assuming that will be some like a public record of some sort?
Yes, sir. If it goes to Joint Commission, it is public. Yes, sir.
All right. I would, just my curiosity, because all these facilities in Tuscaloosa are full beyond capacity. I would love to know what the Joint Commission is trying to figure out about those facilities and the lack of resources and the lack of support services and the lack of wraparound services, lack of money. So I would really love to know what they're looking for. So if possible, whatever report is produced, I'd like to get a copy of that.
Yes, sir.
I think we're all very interested in this progress. every one of our districts, as everyone knows, are any facilities that are there are overloaded. Okay, any other questions on 12? Thank you, sir. 13?
Next one is WellSky. This is a new contract. The vendor will provide updates, technical assistance, report, and maintenance to the Developmental Disability Information System. System is used to process claims, Medicaid processing, and block grant processing. It's also used for payments to our third-party providers.
Sole source, they're the only one that can do that.
Well, let me say this. We did do an RFP, and TheraP is the vendor that was selected under the RFP. They were not able to stand this up before the current contract with WellSky expired. WellSky's contract, of course, their system is proprietary. And so we need services, so we went back to WellSky because they own the system that we currently use. So we put 2 years on here. The goal is for TheraP to have this system stood up sometime mid-2026. And if they don't, then we have to RFP it again.
Okay. Any other questions?
So it's like a contract extension then, is that?
It is, but I think we had to make it new because of the length of time.
Okay, I understand.
Bottom 13, Brian?
So health management is a new one. We did 365 direct solicitations, got 2 responses. CMS requires the department to conduct an independent evaluation of the community waiver program to ensure the necessary data is collected. And the contractor will develop an evaluation design that meets CMS requirements. It lead the implementation of a 5-year evaluation based on a design approved by CMS, facilitate data collection, provide technical assistance, analyze the data, and prepare reports that CMS requires and submit those reports.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Military Department.
Good afternoon, sir. Eric Babbitt, State Military Department. I've got 2 contracts before you today. These are new for our firefighters at the 117th Air Refueling Wing in Birmingham and the 187th Fighter Wing here in Montgomery. These are for pre-employment, annual, and return to work physical for these firefighters.
Eric, you were 50% of the problems with both of these. I'm sure you didn't fill this out. If you remember 3, 4, 5 months ago, y'all were coming, we went back and forth, nothing happened. Then I think we had you on one time and didn't come. I know it's been a lot of moving parts going on for you guys, but if you have any questions, please check with our staff on this. But both these were Super Ball and a racquetball court is just the back and forth. So, all right, any questions on the top of 14? All right. Bottom 14, any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Public health, top of 15.
Good afternoon, Sandra Howard for Public Health. We have 3 contracts today. The first is for Ascendiant Healthcare Advisors. It is for a company to help the department with its reaccreditation process.
Did we not do this last month?
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, we did. So we did it last month because
for 150,000.
Correct.
So now we're tripling that number.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
We're doubling that number. But the total will be triple when you add it all up to 450,000. Correct. So we've actually started the process with this company, and they do it where we do it in several different work groups. It's going to take several years to go through this process again. This is to last until September of 2026, and we've used this company, I believe, in the past to go through this process. But the funding, we had to bring it last month because the grant funding was ending last month, and then we're starting a new cycle in December.
Okay. All right, any questions on this? All right, bottom page 15.
The second contract is for CBiz Optimus. It is a company that's going to help the department's children's health insurance program with auditing for that program, and also help the department prepare a report for CMS. I think it's called the Incurred But Not Reported report that's due each year.
Okay, any questions there? Top of 16.
And the last contract is for Family Rehab Services Incorporated. They're going to actually assist the department with physical therapy services for our home health patients in one of our public health districts.
What is 6BA and 7BA funds?
I knew you were going to ask that question. So 6 stands for fiscal year 2026, 7 stands for fiscal year 2027, and BA stands for county funds.
I'm glad we didn't disappoint you on that.
Oh, no problem. Thank you all so
All right,
much.
any other questions? Thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
Real Estate Commission.
Good afternoon. Serena Grayson for the Real Estate Commission. This is an amendment to a current contract. We are getting our roof redone, thank goodness, and our architect needs additional money because the scope of the project has increased.
I missed the last thing.
The scope of the project has increased, and so our architect needs additional funds, $13,141.28, because the scope of the project has increased, so our roof actual contract increased, and so now our architect, his contract has increased. As they do.
Contractor Cinderella, you've got a comment, I take it. Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Rehabilitation Services.
Good afternoon, Craig Aiken, Department of Rehabilitation Services. We have one contract with Clark Psychological Associates to provide diagnostic psychological services in the Montgomery and surrounding areas.
Is this treatment plans? Is this for the providers, for patients?
It's diagnostic services in order for us to determine eligibility for people who are referred to us. It's not treatment.
Any questions? I've got a couple for you.
Okay.
Interesting enough, I've been reached out to by providers fairly strongly in the last week, trying to understand early intervention services, and funds are being held, reimbursement change, there's a new model. Anything you can explain to us on that?
It's a different division. I know they're going through changes with their payment system, but
Well, I have large, respected employers that have just about depleted their funds. We're talking over several $1 million for these guys, and they've requested a meeting, and that has not been able to happen yet. So I'm going to hold this today,
okay.
And I'm asking that you will meet Children's Hospital, other groups, particularly in Jefferson County, but I believe there's some in Mobile and Baldwin
There are some
County.
in Mobile having the same problem, not getting paid.
Yeah, and they've all been reaching out. So my request is that the head of the department reach out. You know who they are. They've been trying to get together, and I think a consortium of them can get together. I think a ramp versus a free fall, then there's a step somewhere down there. Makes sense when you're transitioning payment for services. And do you think you can help make that happen?
Yes, sir.
We'd be most grateful.
All right.
And after that's happened, we'll release this.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Tourism.
Good afternoon, Chairman and committee members. I am Gray Brennan. I'm honored to serve as the Deputy Director of the Department of Tourism at this time, and it's my pleasure to be before you. We have one contract up. It's a sole source for $100,000. State money is with the Alabama Broadcasters Association for their PIP program, their Public Education Partnership Program. The ABA, Alabama Broadcasters Association, is the only trade association with radio and television stations in the state of Alabama, and the PIP program is the only program of its type, thus the sole source.
PIT?
PIP, P-E-P, Public Education Program.
Gotcha.
And you work for tourism?
Yes.
You sound like a broadcaster.
Thank you. I did that for a while too, in a previous profession.
It shows.
So this is to be able to get shows onto APT?
This is to get messages to the citizens of the state of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently using it to promote our attraction package program, where 65 attractions in the state of Alabama signed with us in order to package their attractions together to offer them at an attractive price.
By being the 65 program, are you talking about the excitement of going up and down 65?
No, 65 different attractions,
I'm
but many of them are up and down I-65.
I understand. We appreciate the widening that's going on there. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Transportation.
Clay McBride with ALDI. We've got 7 contracts in front of you. The first 6 from page 18 at the top to page 20 at the bottom, the same type contract. They're performing construction engineering inspection on our projects.
Same number of submissions, 263 requests, 36 respondents. Anyone have a question about any of those?
Okay, the next one on page 21 is a real estate appraiser, Edwin H. Tillman. He'll go on our appraisal list.
Don't do it, that's the last one. Any questions on the appraisal? Thank you, Clay.
Thank y'all.
All right, we'll go on to legal services. Page 22. We did that one.
Plays on it. He's going.
23.
Clay Crenshaw with the Attorney General's Office. This is a contract with an economist who performs economic analysis for our attorneys who appear before the PSC. He's worked with us for quite some time.
Expert. Okay, any questions? Thank you, sir.
Next is outside counsel representation in the Pruitt versus Strickland case.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
The last contract, Mr. Chairman, is another contract for expert consultant in our dealings with the PSC. This person is an accountant, so they do a little bit of a different type work than the previous person.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bond commission. Yeah, we did. Got OKs on there. Conservation.
Nala Cheney again for our Conservation's final contract. It is for legal services for William Montgomery to represent us in some litigation.
Any questions?
Is this the Big Creek Lake thing?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Credit unions.
afternoon. Greg McClellan, Credit Union Administration. We have one contract for attorney Robert Reynolds and his firm. This is a renewal, really, but it's a new contract. We got a previous 2-year contract, and this would be a new contract starting December 15th.
Any questions? Thanks, Greg. Ethics Commission.
Hello, I'm Brian Patterson. I'm counsel for the Ethics Commission. This is a contract for an attorney who's representing one of our employees. Y'all approved a contract for him in the federal case. That federal case, summary judgment was granted in that case, and they brought state claims on the same issue.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Top of page 30, Health Planning Development.
Good afternoon. I'm Emily Marsall. I'm Executive Director of SHPTA. We have 2 contracts before you. One is for general legal services, and one is for litigation that is in the Court of Civil Appeals.
Any questions? Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.
One more. Okay, that was both. I did too. We're good. Thank you. Human Resources.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Bush with DHR Legal, and we have a 2-year contract with the Kelly Law Firm to provide services to our county DHR offices.
Any questions? Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Statewide 911.
Good afternoon, Leah Missildine, Executive Director for the Alabama 911 Board. This contract is for just general legal services for the state board.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Last but not least, transportation.
We have one legal contract with y'all with Maynard Nexon. This is for the Mobile River Bridge.
Any questions? Representative Pringle, England? Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Clay, I'd love to chat after this if you have a second. Thank you. That's it. Appreciate you hanging in there. Look forward to seeing you next month. Have a great month.